morning everyone. This is Parveen. Today we are on the fourth session of this particular chapter, which is class 9th economics, chapter 1, the story of village Palampur. As in our last videos we have seen that village Palampur is an hypothetical village on the basis of which, or by taking example of that particular village, we are learning about the economic system. And in our first video I have told you about the economic system. When we talk about economic system comprises of three different economic activities, that is production, distribution and consumption. Production means producing goods and services for satisfying human needs. Distribution means distributing those commodities or those goods and services into a different market. Consumption means buying and selling of goods and services through which we satisfy our needs as a consumer. Now when we talk about production process involves four factors of production. When a producer produces a commodity, or when any person produces a commodity as a producer, it requires four factors of production to produce a commodity or services, that is land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. Land is whatever we have under, below or above the land is called above the earth is called land. Labor means skilled labor or unskilled labor who is working. Capital means all the raw materials, infrastructure, money, all these things include in capital. Entrepreneur means businessman or a producer who is producing that commodity, who involves in that particular, who employs all the three factors of production, that is land, labor or capital. So then we have started with the first factor of production, that is land, or by taking the example of village Palampur. In our last video we have seen farming in Palampur, and I have given you two headlines on that. So first we will revise that headline and then we go move on to the new one. Now when we talk about farming in Palampur, as we have seen, we are talking about the land over here, the first factor of production, that is land. So when we talk about the land is fixed. That means land is a natural resource and it has perfectly inelastic demand, which means that you cannot increase the land or you cannot decrease the land, because it is natural resource, it is available by nature. Fixed, it is available in nature, or it is fixed in nature, you can say that whatever nature has given us, whatever amount of land nature has given us, we cannot increase that land or we cannot decrease that land. As we say that 78% of our earth is covered with water and remaining one is land. So that remaining land is fixed. We cannot increase it or we cannot decrease it. That is why we don't have enough land for cultivation. There is not enough land for cultivation because land is used for multiple things. We use land for cultivation, we use land for industries, we also use land for transportation, for making roads, railway tracks and all. So that is why land is having multiple uses. And when we talk about the farming does not have a much cultivated or enough cultivated land to produce food grains. So in Palampur also land is fixed. That is why they are converting wasteland to cultivated land, that we have seen in our last video. And we have also seen that because of this particular problem, that land is fixed or land cannot increase or decrease, there is a solution for that. That solution is called Green Revolution. Under Green Revolution, through modern agricultural techniques, by using chemical fertilizers, by using high yielding seeds, by using advanced irrigation facilities, we can increase the production of food grains on the same land, or on the same land we can have we can use that same land multiple times to grow multiple foods, which is called as multiple cropping. All these things we have learned in our last video. Now moving on further, third one is, will land sustain? When we say that land is fixed, and by using modern agricultural techniques, that is under Green Revolution, we can use a same land once, twice or thrice for production. So when we are doing this thing, or when we are using modern techniques of production, will land sustain that modern techniques? Now we will see that. Now when we talk about modern techniques which we are using on land, Land is having a capacity to sustain that modern technology or modern technique, and that modern technique is also, it has advantage that it raises the production of food grains. It provides us the modern or advanced technology through which we can produce easily, but it has certain disadvantages also. That is why we say that will the land sustain that modern technology. Now when we talk about modern farming method disuse the land. Land is overused, you can say. We are overusing the land. The land which we are having can be produced in a whole year, we can produce once or twice on the same land. But by using modern technology, we are using that land for the whole year. We are using that land once, twice, thrice, or maybe many times, 4 times we are using the same land. So overuse of land affects the fertility of land, affects the cultivation capacity of the land. Green revolution leads to soil infertility. As we are overusing the land, we are using the same land once, twice or thrice for the production of different food grains. It affects the fertility of land. Land gets degraded, soil gets degraded, and it raises the infertility of the land. And after some time, the land is not able to cultivate anything, which is a disadvantage for us. That is why when we are using green revolution or when we are using modern techniques of production, we need to be careful, because land is fixed. Once it gets degraded, we cannot restore it easily. Tube well irrigation. We have seen that we are having electric tube well irrigation. When electric tube well irrigation has been used, that particular irrigation facility decreases the groundwater level. Because what we are doing, we are using electric tube wells. We are getting, we are using ground level water. We will take them out by using force, by using electric force. And when we are using that irrigation facility, its facility of electric tube well irrigation, it decreases the groundwater level. And when groundwater level decreases, moisture of land also decreases, which makes land infertile and which also makes the scarcity of water. So we can say that the two natural resources which is scarce in nature, which is fixed in nature, that is water and land or soil, you can say, because of the modern technology or modern use of production or green revolution, this water and land, these two natural resources is being degraded or is being getting lower, and these two natural resources are the non-renewable natural resources. That means we cannot renew them, or it take a long process to renew them. 100 years to produce a new soil, 100 years time we need. So we can say that it is very difficult to restore the soil and water when it's degraded. So that is why when we are using modern technology, we need to be very careful when we are doing that. In Palampur, we can take the example of Palampur, that when in Palampur they are using modern method of farming or modern method of production, the land cultivation or the land fertility is decreasing and the water level is also decreasing. Overuse of chemical fertilizers. When we are using modern techniques of production, we also use chemical fertilizers. Now these chemical fertilizers kills bacteria and microorganisms in soil. And these bacteria and microorganisms, by a process, they increase the fertility of soil. And when we are using chemical fertilizers, these bacteria and microorganisms which is there in soil gets killed, which affects the fertility of soil or which degrade the soil. Or because of, see, when we are talking about the traditional method of production, it does not require much cost. But when we talk about the modern method of production or modern techniques of production, we need to buy them. And for buying them, we need more money. So we can say that these modern techniques of production increases the cost of cultivation, which is not possible for small farmers because they don't have enough money to buy these modern techniques. So this is all about the will land sustain the modern techniques of production. We can say that one hand modern techniques of production benefits us, give advantage to us. It increases the level of production. But on the other hand, it also has disadvantage because it degrades the land, it degrades the soil, or it decreases the level of water which we have. Moving forward, next one is how the land is distributed between the farmer of Palampur. Now when we talk about land which is fixed in nature, with the help of the example of Palampur, we can now see that how the land is divided or how the land is distributed between different farmers unequally. See, we have a fixed amount of land, but over here what happens, some farmers are having more lands and some farmers are having very less land, and some farmers have no land, that means they are landless laborers, you can say. So land distribution is unequal in Palampur or in India also. When we talk about India, India is also having a unequal distribution of you can say unequal distribution of land between the farmers, which affects the farming, which affects the small farmers or landless farmers who don't have land or who don't have enough land to cultivate. So now when we talk about the village Palampur, let's take the example of village Palampur. As we have seen that in Palampur there is not sufficient land for cultivation. They don't have sufficient land for cultivation. They don't have enough land for cultivation. In Palampur, we have seen that there is 450 families who lived in Palampur, and their main activity is agriculture. So when we 75% of people in Palampur involved in agriculture. So when we talk about 450 families in Palampur, only 1/3 of the families in Palampur, 1/3 of the families are landless. That means in Palampur there are many farmers who are landless. They are, you can say, 150 families. Out of 450 families, 150 families in Palampur are landless laborers. You can say they don't have land. So 240 families cultivate small lands, and 240 families are there who cultivate a small lands, that is less than 2 hectares of land, which affects the cultivability of land, which affects the fertility of land, and which also affects the production of food grains on that land. Because as land is distributed, 240 families, 2 hectares of land, less than 2 hectares of land, when these 2 hectares of land has been distributed amongst 240 families, we can say that in Palampur we are having small lands, and these small lands has a capacity to produce very small amount of food grains. The production are also very less because of the less land. Then 60 families are there who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land, or 80 families are there who are having more than 10 hectares of land. So you can see over here that in Palampur land is divided unequally between the farmers. Some farmers are having more than 10 hectares of land, few farmers are having more than 10 hectares of land or more than 2 hectares of land. There are many farmers, or half of the farmers are there, 240 families are there who are having only 2 hectares of land, and 150 families are there who are landless labor, they don't have any kind of land. So over here you can see in this diagram, first one is cultivated area in Palampur, or second one is number of farmers which are there in Palampur. Now when we talk about cultivated areas, 36% cultivated areas are in the use of small farmers, and 64% cultivated areas are in the ownership of medium and large farmers. And 20%, when we talk about the number of farmers, medium and large farmers, they are medium and large farmers who are having more land, they don't farm on their land, or they are not farming their land on their own. But what they are doing, they are employing landless laborers to work on their land. So we can say that 36% farmers are there, but they are having less land. 64% land is there, but farmers are very much more. So over here you can say that farmers are more. Where the farmers are more, they have less land, and when there is no farmers, they are having more lands, and what they are doing, they are employing other farmers or landless farmers to cultivate on their land. So over here we can say that there is unequal distribution of land in Palampur. And same way we can say in India also we are having that unequal distribution of land. Many farmers are there who is landless, and big farmers are there, landlords are there who hire them to work in their farms, and they are paying them a wages or daily wages, you can say, which is not more. Next one, when we talk about the land. Now I hope you have understood about the land or factors of production as land. Land is usually used for the agriculture activity, and when we talk about agricultural activity, we can produce the different food grains on the land, that is called as multiple cropping. We can use modern techniques of production on land, but somehow it has negative effect on land. We have also seen that, and we have also seen that how the land has been distributed among the different farmers. Now when we talk about the factors of production, once land is available, Now what we required? We required manpower to have farming on that land, and that manpower is called as labor, which is our second factor of production. Now when we talk about labor, as we have seen over here, small farmers who are having less than 2 hectares of land, they are cultivating their own land. That means they have land, and they are the own labor of their land. They cultivate their land on their own capacity. That means they are cultivating their own land. So they are the labor for their land, they are the entrepreneur for the land, and the land is owned by them only. So you can say that land, labor, capital, both are of the farmer only, because the farmer have a small land which they cultivate by their own. They don't need any other farmer, and they don't need to hire any other farmer for their lands. But when we talk about medium and large farmers, they have 64% of the land, but they don't have a capacity to cultivate that land on their own. So what they are doing, they require manpower or labor. So what they are doing, these large farmers hire landless laborers who don't have any land. They are called as farm laborers, and they pay them wages. But these wages are very less, because of which landless laborers are always suffering with the economic problem. These employed laborers, they are getting wages on daily basis, or maybe, see, when the medium or large farmers, when they employ landless laborers or farm laborers, they employ them on two bases. First, on daily basis. Daily they will come and they will farm the land, and they get daily wages. But there is one more method in which what large farmers are doing. They give one particular land to a farmer, and they told them to cultivate that land for them, and when cultivation gets over, they will pay by commodity, maybe by food grains or maybe by money. So they employ landless laborers on two bases, on daily basis, or they give them one particular farm to cultivate. Now when we talk about the wages, minimum wages for laborers has been fixed by government, that is 115 rupees per day. But farmers are not getting that wages, minimum wages. They are getting very less wages, which is the problem for them. So laborers, when they work, they need to get a minimum wages on daily basis according to the government. Now, two more topics are remaining for this particular farming in Palampur topic, which we will see in our next video. I hope you have understood all these things. Till then, thank you.